my glasses cleaned. Get my glasses cleaned. Good morning. I hope we have some people today. We've skipped like 2 weeks and it's been crazy. And I mean, I still sound kind of like I have a kazoo stuck in my nose. But it is what it is. And then, we don't have our normal processes in place, so that's kind of making it difficult. How do I get to my stuff? God, I feel like I've forgotten everything now, because it's been like so long. Not really. But welcome in. I hope we get some people today. It's going to be probably a little bit quieter even than normal, which is that's not busy. Because it's just, it's been a while. I feel lonely. I feel like I miss all of you guys. Miss everybody. Ziggy, good morning. Good morning. Rook is making sure that we have some champagne in the back.
It's in the freezer.
Woohoo! Cauldron Witch, Steph in the house already.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I just hope I can taste the champagne, or it's like pointless to.
I'll drink yours.
Imbibe.
I'll drink yours. Definitely better. It's kind of like, for me, it's a little cyclical. Like this morning, I felt like total crap, but even after being up for like an hour, I feel like 1,000% better. But then like midday yesterday, I had a really bad headache and sinuses, so it's kind of like just been all over the place. We're both testing negative now, so I think we're kind of over the big part of it. But it was not the worst sickness I've ever had, but it wasn't fun.
It was just weird because every 2 hours it would change. You could feel like 100%, and then 2 hours later feel like you have a fever and chills. It's nuts. I'm glad. Hopefully it doesn't hang around much longer. Just nuts. Hey, Heather. Hey, Joy.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Hey, Joy. Hey, Heather. Yeah, we're definitely better. We're not 100%, but we're definitely better. And I have definitely noticed the lack of witchiness. Oh, there's a little frog coming down the window.
Hello, frog.
Having been sick. But even with being sick, we've done a lot of real yard work. We did some. Brad did a lot of work yesterday. I don't know if I'm supposed to call you Brad or Rook in here. I guess Rook is probably more appropriate for where we are.
Oh, I don't care.
This too. I know I don't care about people knowing my name. I'm just saying. But excited, very excited to kind of get some semblance of normalcy back. So I'm happy. I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't even know if we had a podcast. The last time we tried, the iPad died, so it's hard for us to see the notes and comments. But I think we've almost got it set up as the demon Chihuahua is running around the building.
Thanks, Ziggy.
So
thanks, Julie.
We're going to keep it easy and light this time, but we have a lot of topics today. We have a lot of things to talk about, and a few adjustments that we've made. So I'm excited about that. I know. We've got a few things we got to do real quick to get finished setting everything up, and then we will be able to turn the video on early, hopefully.
If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck.
Where did my... you deserved that.
What's going on?
This week, by the way, y'all,
Hey, Willow.
Woohoo!
Hey, Simona.
Yes.
Thanks.
We are so ready to be back. Okay, light mother heifer.
I kind of feel like I want to live in a cave and paint on the walls for a week.
This week has probably, this year we've been through some crazy weeks, but this year has definitely been my craziest week I have had in a long time. Things are crazy. That's Tina telling Finn to back off. Hashtag strong woman. But yeah, so I'm so ready to get back into this and have some conversations again. Like I said, we haven't done a whole lot of witchy stuff in the meantime because we've just been really resting, and I got back to work last week and had some pretty significant things at work I had to deal with, but really enjoying like the yard work. I am. It's freaking hot as all get out, but
Yeah, hot and humid.
yeah, but we've really got some things going, and working in the yard, we need to do some retaining walls. We're thankfully had some really awesome conversations with Heather, and I am going to utilize her service as we get our yard kind of in a place where it's able to create things.
That doesn't look good. Look at my one palm frond on that tree. Why is it brown?
It just needs to come off. They go brown all the time.
Oh.
Every week, there's like 2 or 3 weirdo.
I don't like it.
Observe your surroundings. But yeah, so we're kind of working on doing some things in our yard that are going to make our yard a little bit more fruitful. Wink, wink, nod, nod. However, I am going to ask. I don't know if I need to do something with my peach tree. Our peach tree does not look as good as it should, and it has a very top piece that just kind of died and fell off. So I'm a little nervous. About that. Before we get into our topics and get going, I guess I can see Rook has his list out, so we probably need to call the corners. I think that was a hint.
Oh, thank you. You're learning. Or you're just ignoring me half the time.
Both.
All right.
All right, so we're going to call a quick circle. If you want to join, please do. If you don't, go grab a drink, and we'll see you in a minute.
Hear me, friends and ancestors from the east. Hear my voice carried on the air of clarity and truth. Watch over us as we cast our circle of safety and love.
See me, friends and ancestors from the south. See my flame of passion and creation seared into the energy of the universe. Watch over us as we cast our circle of limitless possibility.
Feel me, friends and ancestors from the west. Feel my love, fear, sadness, and joy. Wash into the waters of the rivers of compassion. Watch over us as we cast our circle of connection and motion.
And reach me, friends and ancestors from the north. Reach my feet and hands, the earth in my toes, and the work of my fingers. Watch over us as we cast our circle of the earth.
Know me, friends and ancestors from the ether. Know my intent, know my heart, and know my spirit. Watch over us as we ask you all to join us in perfect love and perfect trust.
Finn is definitely a fire energy, but he is calling right in the middle of our earth.
He's calling.
Hear, see, feel, reach, and know that the circle is safe, the circle is comfort, the circle is sacred, and the circle is cast. So, yeah, Finny is just right. He's definitely a magical dog. VG, our big white fluff ball, hopefully she'll make an appearance, but she's not feeling well. She's been sick. She threw up quite a bit this morning, and we're just kind of keeping an eye on her because I am sure she got into some of these fermented cherries outside of our door. Which also, by the way, for Dragon Dancer, we did not shade the peach tree. Was I supposed to do that?
Oops.
Because we might need to do that. I think she did say to do that. Now that I'm thinking about it. And we might need to make a quick trip. But our little tree right outside of our window here is covered in cherries. I'm looking at like 6 or 7 of them right now. So it's definitely, I'm 99% sure this is a cherry tree out there that you were looking at. Because it's covered in them. I got like 10 yesterday, and a bunch fell off, right? It was really cool. So yeah. But I'm excited about kind of doing some extending in the front and making some flower beds in the back for, plants and stuff. And we got ourselves a little fire-burning chimenea yesterday from Old Time Pottery in Fort Myers, which is like the best store that's ever existed on the planet.
Oh my God, y'all! I gotta show y'all some cute stuff I found. Some little ocean-type pumpkins.
I want to take a little bit of what do you call it? Inspiration from Joy and kind of how she has some things set up, and I want to create a lot of mystical areas inside and outside the house. We've often ignored outside, like as far as how it looks and how things are set up, but we have.
Like almost 3 years. We did do, well, I'm thinking of for Halloween. We had such a good year that year.
Yeah.
My little witches that hopefully still work.
Oh, they will.
And my clown.
My 5 fog machines.
Yeah. I love Halloween. It was so much fun.
And separating Halloween from Samhain. I love Halloween and Samhain separately.
And that's actually going to be part of the topic, like having fun again and with spiritual things and just normal things and getting together and doing stuff again.
We have absolutely quite a few things that we're going to hit on today. We're not always, but we're going to start our few things that we have been starting real quick before we get this video going. That way we can set up our last few pieces here and get everything lit up. But books. Talk about your Luciferian magic and then your other book that you're reading.
Well, so for the past 2 weeks, all I've really felt like doing was reading. But then you can only read so much, and it's like, oh, I'm kind of glad I'm feeling better. But I did read a really good book by Alistair Nacht, N-A-C-H-T.
Reading that next.
And it's Sanctum of Shadows, and there's 3 volumes in this series, Sanctum of Shadows, and I'm going to order the other 2 today. You know, the book is about like the basics of Satanism, like it's more of a religion, and it was just really interesting to read about. And I would love to tell all authors, if you're seeking information on a topic, I don't want to read about the goddamn rituals. Like I started Michael Ford's book, Luciferian Magic, and like half the thing, no offense, is rituals. I don't want to read about the rituals. I want to read about the practice, the history, the background. But like no matter what book you get on what topic or what path, they all have these damn rituals.
Yeah, a lot of them are like that because that's what you get in and you work with them, and that's where you're supposed to learn the most. But I get what you're saying.
I don't know if I want to work with any of these
I think
people.
the Satanic Bible is a good example of that because it's not done that way.
Yeah.
It's separated into the compendium and the notebook and the other pieces that are companions to that. And I really think that it probably get more money out of it too. Careful you don't hit the camera.
This is a really good book, guys. It's only like 176 pages. It's very easy to read. And I'm buying more of his books, not because I want to be a religious Satanist or anything like that, but because the topic is interesting. It's well written. It's written in an easy to understand language. And it's not taking me on page 4 into the ritual of Lilith humping the ground. And what your directions and elements are for Lilith humping the ground in the first freaking chapter. Yeah. It's really good. And no matter what it is, not just Mr. Ford, who I do really like, but it can be kitchen witchery, whatever book, astral travel.
It is.
They all jump and delve immediately into all these rituals. I don't care. Don't want to know about it. I want to know about the basics and the practice. So this is really good. Okay, I'm done with my
get off your horse
session.
Now I want to speak to that.
This is really, really, really good.
So what is your thoughts, chat, on these books? And a lot of them like that, like the Dragon books by Conway. And now, granted, she goes multiple chapters, 100 pages or so before she gets into them, and then she does like one at a time. She'll go through a couple. But what are your thoughts on that? I think some people are just so interested to get into the theatrics of it sometimes, and maybe that's okay. And maybe we shouldn't be so judgmental about it.
I want the knowledge. Like when I read about something...
But you're not the only consumer of that information.
Exactly. But I want to know, what is the background? What do these people believe in different ways? What does it really mean? You know, for over a year, I've been trying to find information like on what is really the left-hand path and da-da-da. And through my own, I finally found some good info and some good authors. And through help, like Jurian was really helpful to me with some books that I've got and still have to read. But that doesn't mean I want to go dedicate myself to the Sigil of Baphomet cult. I mean, I want to know, what does that mean? Baphomet, the head of knowledge. I want to know
just like
the education part.
Remember,
I'm not going to go and do a ritual on my first day.
Consumer.
Okay, I'll shut up. This is a really good book by a really good author, Sanctum of Shadows by Alistair Nacht.
Yes, I agree with you, and that's okay I think it's good and fun to feel that way, and it's okay to feel that way, but, again, we're not the only consumers of it, so we have to leave room that maybe it's not a beginner picking up that book. You know what I mean? Or not somebody that just is learning about it for the first time. It's got to appeal to a wider audience. So it does have to include some of those things. I agree. But I do wish they would separate them.
I like what Heather
put it in the
says.
front and then another one in the
Yeah,
back. Yeah,
like Dragon Dancer said. I agree. That I'd be okay with that because then after
Yeah.
reading the information, I could decide if I want to read about a ritual.
I like how Matt Oren's book does it, The Psychic Witch. And I actually have already pre-ordered his next book. But in his book, it's kind of like that, but it's light practices at the end of built into the chapters.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like you're actually practicing that thing. You're just it's almost like a workbook
Right.
versus just going right into Lilith humping the ground or whatever.
And I'm no disrespect to Lilith. I like her. And studying
Hey, who are y'all talking to?
and reading or learning about Luciferianism
I'm gonna turn on
and
the video.
Samael and Lilith.
Hold
Sorry, I need a haircut. I've been sick.
We need to hold you accountable for your behavior.
I have no disrespect to Lilith. I think she's probably very fascinating. I just used her as the first thing that came to mind, but I like that.
I will send you pictures, Dragon Dancer, and we will shade the tree. I'll do that today. We'll need to get something to shade it with.
Yeah.
And then, just for the record, it's at the very, very top, highest part of that peach tree, about a 5-inch piece, just completely dead wood, and I touched it and it just literally broke right off, so it makes me nervous.
Oh, that's not that good.
So we're going to go out and try to do some love with it.
You lick those? Okay.
Yeah, you can like the big ones. So after all of that, 20 minutes, I'm still reading the Occult Sciences.
Are you saying I'm long-winded?
Long-winded. You long something. So I'm going to set this book up here real quick, and I'm going to switch over so you guys can kind of take a quick peek at the Occult Sciences. I know it's a little further down, but this is by Arthur Edward Waite. You'll recognize that name, Arthur Waite. Just haha, funny, right? It is him. So one of the things in this book that I like is it's very non-judgmental to different processes. So when you go in, it talks about black magic and white magic and other kinds of magic, and it does separate them out, which I'm not a huge fan of. But it does really go into some of the details about each practice, and it separates them all completely independently, which I really like. So if you are somebody who's just looking to learn a little bit about the occult sciences, then this is a really good book to kind of learn pieces of it. Now, as I went through it, there's things like definitions of magic. There's evocation of angels, spirits of the elements, black magic, the demons, necromancy, souls of the dead, alchemy, the elixir of life, crystallomancy. I don't know how they say it that way, but that's, crystals. Talismans, divination, the divining rod, astrology, Kabbalism, mystics, Rosicrucian, Freeman. So it goes through these a whole bunch of different things. It's not deep on any of those things, but it gives you a little understanding.
Oh, and thank you, Joy.
And I just found it very interesting can't you just wait until I at least finish the sentence?
Sorry.
Seriously? Are we going to do this today?
I guess I'll be the one getting a little champagne.
You won't need to. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no. It's just a really good book. I let you talk that entire time. Didn't interrupt you while you got on your little high horse.
Sorry.
And one word in. Guys, I feel some kind of way. Finn, stop
I'm quiet
eating.
now.
No, Finn is eating the box. Hey, stop eating the box. Now I forgot what I was saying. Occult Science is a really good book if y'all are interested in learning a lot about a little, or a little about a lot. Actually, that's the correct. A little about a lot. You'll find a lot of really good information there. Just it is an older book, so there is some things in there that I'm like, I'm not really comfortable with a certain couple things that it says or does. Just not my personal practice. Don't care. Not doesn't matter. But it really does give you some good backdrop information. And yes, Joy, it's nice to know that you're on the other end. We have been so out of it.
I feel so disconnected, like literally from people, from everything. I think I feel like the past couple weeks or days, I was like
Hibernation.
Looking in on things. A really weird feeling.
It is. I agree completely.
Completely disconnected, even from myself.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think it's been a really weird. It's just been really weird. It's just not been very, very comfortable because so much has been going on. Now, recent podcast events. So, there's a.
I'm just kidding. Sorry. Have we done any?
Yeah. Not just we. I'm confused.
Continue.
So obviously, this yesterday, we did podcast was canceled for Malice Experience. For no better reason. That was the best possible reason there could be. Malice's son's birthday, spending time with El Childo Primo. So there is nothing that is more important than that when you have it. So good reasoning there. Not that I'm judging reasoning. I don't know why I even said that. The week before, I wasn't available. Obviously, we were not feeling it, and we're getting sick. So we missed the panel, which I went back and I did watch. Amazing topics. That was really fun. I am really sad that I missed some of those conversations and some of those things. So I'm pretty sure we'll be back on next week. And then I know coming up in a few weeks I will be off again. The week before that we also missed. So it's been a while since I've been on podcasts or done anything. So I just wanted to kind of mention that. I think Malice and I are going to probably sit down and talk a little bit. He doesn't even know this. I haven't even talked to him yet about it, but I want to. But me and him are going to kind of get together and try to find a better balance of things, I think, and have things set up so nobody feels like guilty, because we feel guilty when we don't do podcasts, like really guilty. I feel extremely guilty when I miss one, and I know he doesn't like to miss them either, even if it's for a good reason, like spending time with your kids. So maybe we can put something in place to keep that going. But just I appreciate everybody's understanding. You guys are a freaking awesome community on both sides. Pretty much Pondering Pagans and those of you it's all mixed together, so which I love. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of point that out, that we really want to keep the podcast going. I know for sure, and then obviously this going. But every once in a while, there's going to be a few where we gotta take a break for life. We gotta have life a little bit. Not that this isn't a part of that, but sometimes on a Saturday night I don't want to be at my computer. So it is what it is. But I really think that the key factor with that, just looking back and watching the video, the VOD, the video on demand for that podcast, great panel. And I've been beating the crap out of him for this. I have been asking for a panel and pushing to have a panel on the Malice Experience for over a year. And the one I can't get to is where he does a panel, and no less, it's Bonnie and Curtis and Biker Witch and Brooke. Oh. And was there anybody else? I don't want to miss anybody. I don't want to get in trouble. But I mean, it was a good panel, and yeah. I mean, Scarlett wasn't on it, so I probably am fine. I'm just kidding.
Well, y'all should do another one.
I want to do them more often. I think panels are much better, and I like, I love the panel. It's a great thing to me. It's one of my favorite things to do. But anyway, that's that. Ongoing projects, obviously, really. Just kidding.
It's for your benefit.
I know. Shadow work, we have not put any shadow work videos out. That's because we haven't been doing much with that book with the COVID. We've really just been between yard work and resting and keeping the house together and work. It's been too much. So we're going to work really hard to get a new Eclipsing the Shadow episode out this week on our first couple of cards, and kind of go through that. We've still been doing some of the work, but we just haven't been making the videos because it's been tiring, I would love that. And okay, so panel, right? Let's go back to that real quick because I know there's a delay. So when it comes to the panel, to me, I really do enjoy when it's just me and Malice shooting the crap. But I kind of feel like that can be like a separate thing. Other than that, when there's a panel of a lot of people and they're giving their different inputs and opinions, yes, it can be messy because there's a lot of over talking and that kind of stuff. But there's ways to manage that. But I enjoy it so much. The after shows when we get together after the podcast in the Discord, that is also like the most fun I ever have. Unfortunately for me, I'm always exhausted by that point. Now, granted, I'm a night person. I am really good at night and into the morning. That's like my favorite time. But because I work days, my schedule doesn't match what I want it to be. So I get so tired by the end and I just can't participate the way I would like to sometimes. But that is so much fun. So even if we don't do a lot of panels, we at least will continue that after show panel because that, even Malice agreed, that is really one of the most fun times. to me. So, what else do we got? The shadow work has been fun. Oh, I'm super hyper if you can't tell. I've been this way at work. I've been this way just like with this waxing and waning tiredness. When you come out of it, we get really hyper and excited. I'm going to give Rook a minute to get back before we go through all of these details in our notes, especially the second and third and fourth one. But Europe, I wanted to talk a little bit about Europe's drought as one of our news topics. So, because it's obviously not just Europe, but they are heading for the biggest drought in recorded history that they even are aware of, which is likely to happen. It's just messing up all kinds of things. It's messing up tourism, and what do they call it? The river cruises can't do it, which, who cares about that necessarily? But on top of that, we're also having issues with shipping on some of the largest rivers in Europe because the rivers are so low, the ships can't sail through the river. I think one of the rivers said the basin was down to 40 centimeters.
Oh, crap.
So that's like a foot.
That's no
about
bueno.
A foot and a half.
No bueno.
Oh, I needed this one.
No bueno, you stupid, huh?
I can't with you. But anyway, so as we talk about Earth and all the things that are happening, global warming, we need to be better stewards of the things that we're doing too. So looking at ways, small things that you can do that don't cost a lot of money or that you can DIY are things that I think are very beneficial. I am actually planning on either next weekend probably or sometime this week cleaning our gutters out a little bit and trying to install finally a rainwater system that we can use to capture rainwater. Granted, it wouldn't be for drinking, but it'll be very helpful for the yard, so we're not using as much water for that. Just to have different ways to sustain differently. The next topic you want to hit?
Wait a minute, where are we on? Oh, yeah. So, it's interesting, within the past couple of weeks, a group of anonymous Gardenerian witches put out a statement. Basically, what it said was that the Gardenerian path only recognizes the male-female polarity and doesn't recognize anything other. So a lot of transgendered and non-binary authors, witches, occultists became really upset and responded to this statement by these anonymous Gardenerian practitioners and said that is not true. It doesn't follow the Gardenerian path, and it does not. It doesn't even relate to anything that Gardner wrote or said or talked about when he was,
And actually is negated by some of what he wrote, right?
Yeah.
And I think it was really stupid for somebody to come out and make a statement that kind of tried to speak for all Gardnerian witches.
Right.
And then turn around, thankfully, a larger group says,
No, that's not it.
No, that's not how we do this. And that made me happy to kind of see that and hear that when you were talking about it this morning.
Yeah.
Because it's just not, what was the point in the first place?
And why would you be anonymous? So it's kind of like...
You know better.
It's kind of like they obviously didn't want their names or identities associated with it.
Oh, Joy, I hear you. Can we just take a moment and appreciate how many whack jobs there actually are? And I wouldn't go too far as to say I'm probably a whack job half the time, but yes, Gardner was a whack job. But it was still nice that group did come back out and say, no, that's not really what, that's not, don't speak for everybody. So that was nice. And I think that's kind of part of the message we're heading towards today. When we talk about things like this, and we're going about community and we're going about getting along, we're going about, how to disagree not appropriately, that's not the right word, but to disagree respectfully. And Finn, oh my God, he's destroyed that thing all over the floor. Finny, do not eat the fluff. Sir. It's your dog.
Oh, right now he's my dog. Okay, I see.
He is mutilating this poor toy. Anyway, I apologize. But yeah, so it's nice to have a large group come back and say, you know what, that's not your space to tell. So that was nice. We're all whack jobs, Dragon Dancer. Now Gardner was a true, Ooh. From what I can read anyway. I didn't know him. We never met.
You didn't meet him?
No.
Oh, you should have.
We might have met him on the astral plane like some of our friends did.
I was gonna say. Oh.
I'm gonna need another. Not right this second. I'm just kidding. Maybe a little bit.
So, did you already talk about? Oh yeah, I heard you about the shadow work. So, in the next thing, in the news, brings us kind of to what we want to talk to today about getting back together, going to these festivals. We've got a couple of cool things to show from a medieval festival we went to with Joy last year, and it's already coming up again in 3 months, and I cannot wait to go back. It was the most fun that I've had in probably 3 or 4 years.
We're going to talk about the Mystic South first, though.
Yes, and that's so Mystic South is apparently a pagan conference. I hadn't heard about it.
Me either.
And that may be because for the last 3 years or so with COVID, they weren't doing any meetups, but they recently started it back in Atlanta. And it was back, what was it, a week ago it happened? Do you remember?
A month ago. It was July.
A month ago in Atlanta, and it had all these like vendors and panelists and workshops and classes, and I said, okay, immediately we're going to find out when it is in 2023, and we're going to register as soon as possible.
And it is in 2023. It's going to be July, I think.
Yeah, July.
I didn't write it in here, but so this Mystic South, it's we do conferences for work, right? We go to these things. There's conferences for all kinds of things, and we don't spend enough time, I think, in these congregate settings, even if we completely or mostly disagree with and or feel that some things are commercialized or maybe they're not the way we want them to be. Participating does, again, like I've said many times before, it's about informing what we're doing and informing our processes, informing our practices and what we know and what we learn. And so I think it's really important that we participate in some of this stuff. So we're going to look at potentially trying to participate next year in July 2023, and maybe even try to coordinate getting some, anybody, you guys included, coming down to Atlanta to kind of experience this workshop. Now, I know it's not extremely large. Yeah. It's still growing. It took a couple years off from COVID and all that, but I think that will be very interesting.
How freaking cool would that be to do a meetup? And people that want to just meet up for this conference, get together, learn, share, fellowship,
So I think it's going to be really a really big thing, and so it's not, to me, it's not just I think it's more. Well, they say it's more occult related, which I like because it's a little bit of a broader set of topics. But it just looks like something that we would really enjoy. So if anybody's interested, I believe if you just Google Mystic South, you'll get access to that information and you'll be able to see it. We will, like I said, we're going to look at signing up ourselves for that. And I think we're going to try to go next year and try to be a little more involved in some of those things and kind of be a part of the wider community as it would be.
And how cool would it be to go to a conference about stuff you're actually interested in instead of work stuff? That'd be nice.
Seriously. Now, the most fun thing. I'm not going to say anything for a minute. We're just going to show you a couple of things so that you'll get the idea of what we're about to talk about that's coming up. Can you show this on there?
Yes. It's really freaking cool.
It's something I'm super excited to have. I'm very, very, very... It still smells like mead. But very excited to have this little... I don't even know what it's called. Joy knows exactly what this is, and she's going to know exactly where we're headed to this. So don't say it in the chat yet. But yes, that little bag there is something I really want to wear soon. Show that. You can leave the bag there and show this on top of it.
That's awesome. Dragon Dancer, we should plan it. Joy, yes.
Yes, let's plan it for next year. Let's get a head start and go ahead and start setting stuff up.
Plan early. You wanted me to just put it on top like this?
Yeah, just show.
Ah.
Don't drop. Don't throw. Just show. Do those look familiar? to anybody? All right, so give me that back.
Okay.
I'm going to set them up here. Do you have anything that you want to show from that era?
Let me see. I don't think. I can try my hat, but I think I'll wear it. Let me see. This is about the fun of getting back into community and getting out and doing things. I don't know if they can see my hat very good.
Put it on.
I am. Where's the front? Where's the back?
Yeah.
Is that right? But we got this stuff at the medieval fair.
You weren't supposed to say it yet, but okay.
Oh.
Go for it.
Oh,
No,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. You ruined everything.
Really?
Yep, you ruined everything.
Nips.
Sick of you.
Look, I've been contained for 2 weeks.
Yeah. I did this last time.
I love you, bitch.
I did this last time. Just bear with me. There we go. Now you should be able to hear me again.
Can you hear me now?
I did that last time too. So hopefully you'll see Sarasota Medieval Fair up. And yeah, everything I just said, ignore. We are going to be going a Saturday and a Sunday this year. I'm pretty sure we'll probably do 2 different weekends if we can. Do a Saturday one time and a Sunday the next time.
Cool.
Like the next weekend, so that we can break it up a little bit. Really looking forward to doing this. We're going to pick those 2 days here soon. And we are going to do this. We're going to, I'm hoping if anybody has the capability or is anywhere near the area, we will be doing this. If you want to come down, meet and greet, we would be more than happy to do so. So we'll let you guys know when we're actually going to go, because it will obviously, we'll have to probably cancel our service that weekend because we'll be at the Medieval Fair. Anybody who is very interested, this medieval fairs happen all over the country. Obviously, we're going to be partial to the one that's here. So if anybody happens to be in the Florida market or anywhere near Florida, we would love for you to come with us. You do have to get, it's better to have your tickets ahead of time, a little cheaper. So we'll get this kind of, I think, hammered out in the next couple of weeks so that we can have a plan. What else? There's something else I was going to say. Oh, so for those of you not in Florida, Sarasota is about 2 hours from Orlando, about 40 minutes-ish Tampa. So any of those major, Tampa, Orlando is the biggest areas, and then Sarasota, Fort Myers. Those are all the areas that can get to this Sarasota Medieval Fair within an appropriate amount of time that's not too crazy. So, you know, we are thinking about doing that. Obviously, that's in our list of things. The problem is, a lot of times when we do live, or think about doing live from it just takes away from our ability to capture the moments and live in the moment. So,
Ooh, that'd be fun, like short bits.
well, I was thinking about getting either like a GoPro or some type of automatic camera that's wearable.
Yeah.
that we could just turn on and off as we do different things. And if you want to watch it, you can. If you don't,
That's cool.
whatever.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good idea.
So that's a thought.
But yeah, a good, great time. It was so much fun, and I'm so glad the time seems to have passed so quickly, and that's almost upon us again, because that was just amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, I know anytime anybody's going to make a trip to Florida just to go to a medieval fair,
Right.
but there are other things to do. So if you're going on vacation and come down that time, we're really interested in both making our community larger and smaller at the same time. And that, again, kind of goes in when we get into our topic today. What I mean by that is extending ourselves out and being very intentional and growing and having new connections, which makes our world smaller because we're connecting further out, right? And then making our community itself larger by spending more time with those that are close to us. So this is all about, for me, networking and kind of growing and kind of pushing out and doing things. But, there's a lot of stuff down here. We have a place for people to stay. We have guest room and a pool if anybody wants to go swimming. If you come in from out of the area. So just if you happen to be at, we'll share those dates, no pressure. Now, I think the more likely community event for hopefully to meet some of you that we don't and haven't met in person, would like to see if we could set that up for next year. So I'm going to be pushing that a lot for Mystic South next year.
South.
July 14th through 17th, I think it is, 2023, because that is a much larger event. It's an open event. It's in Atlanta. It's a little less pressure. If you meet us and you hate us in person, you don't have to hang out with us. You know what I mean?
We hope you don't, but
I'm just saying it's a little less pressure, I think, and something like that.
And it's more time to plan.
Correct.
We would love to meet some of you all out there.
Yes.
And this, I was just showing a staff I got at the medieval fair, and it's got like a quartz
Point
on it. I don't know if you can see it. I'm not pointing it at anyone. I know
Lord of mercy.
y'all will get me. I'm not pointing it at anyone. I'm just showing it's really pretty, and it's got like some gold wrapping across the top. You can kind of see. And then the quartz.
I had my antler one earlier.
Did you show it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you talked right through it. Just saying. So yeah, I mean, those are the kind of things that you do. So I think in the Pondering Pagans Discord, I think we're going to set up a community room. And I think what we want to kind of see in that community room in the Discord, if you want to, you don't have to, of course, is just conversations of saying where you're going locally in your area or wherever, so that if other people in our extended Pondering Pagan group wants to, they can potentially meet up and do some of those things in your area. It's not obviously required, so if you don't want to, you just don't. I think it's kind of cool for me. I travel a lot, so if I'm traveling and anybody there's a couple people in Pennsylvania that I'm friends with. I haven't met yet. There's a couple in Detroit. So when I'm there for work, it would be nice to know if somebody's there and available now. We could kind of go out, have coffee, or go to a fair, do whatever. So just some things. We're going to put that community room in the Pondering Pagans so that if you want to allow people to know where you are and what's going on with you locally and have some opportunities, you can do that. I'll do the same thing. Like if I'm in Pennsylvania and one night I'm free for coffee and you live in the area, then I'll be free for coffee. We can have a drink. But that is part of our ongoing projects that we talk about, right? So it's been shadow work and then operation networking and getting ourselves networked and back out there and really having that conversation. So I'm excited about that. I do want to do a quick top. Anybody have any comments on that? Any question?
Getting out, getting together, having fun again.
Yep. Joy mentions Peace Day here in September. Do we know what day that is? I'll get that on the Keith calendar because that sounds interesting. And where is it? I think we talked about that a little bit. I just don't remember all the details. But Keith will be a good place to put that. But I love that. What else is there? I'm trying to think if there's anything else burning in my britches. What? Because Because if your britches are burning, you're going to want to get it out.
Okay.
Guess who passed their practice test and is taking their exam soon?
Oh, wait. I'm trying to get it up.
It's right here on my phone.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome.
That is
Whoop,
awesome.
whoop. You got this, girl.
Your success is everybody's success, and everybody's success
that's
is
awesome.
yours. I think that is
Paranormal.
wonderful.
You got it. You got it. That is awesome.
I don't know why, but I really want to call her P-Dubs.
I think that's appropriate. P-dubs.
Paranormal Wit P-Dubs. I think that's cute. Question. Lunasa. What did you guys do? We were sick. Didn't get anything done that we wanted to get done Lunasa specific. But it did give us a lot of push and setup for Mabon. So, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But for Lunasa, we really didn't get what we did like last year. We didn't get to do our bread and all that stuff. We just weren't having it. Like, I just wasn't capable. And was just tired. I did it earlier.
Oh.
It was one of the first. I don't want to use too much of it because it's not cheap. But did you guys do anything special for Lunasa? I know there's locally, Joy, I think you guys did Blessing of the Animals, which I'm really upset that I missed. But there was, again, that was the day we started getting symptoms, I think.
It was, literally.
So I didn't want to do any more exposure that we already might have done with Heather, and I know you guys weren't really happy about it or had already had it, but just didn't want to do all that. So there's that. But these are things that if you are not out of the witch closet or out of the broom closet, taking a peek at your local UU church is a good place to start sometimes. Message boards, Meetup is also pretty decent. I will caution you, though, on the Meetup app. It's really good for things, but you need to do it in groups. Like, you do not want to meet up somebody in the middle of the woods. That stuff has happened.
Don't. I wouldn't be going to, like, somebody's ritual the first time you get together.
Yeah. I just... I want people to be more in community, but I want people to be more safe about it. Safer about it, however you want to say it properly. But I do find that it's important to get out and get some community in there. And you know what? If this is your only measure of being out and about as a witch or whatever it is you call yourself or whatever you are, and you have something you want to talk about or some topics or... any of that stuff, tell us. We're open. This isn't just us on here doing stuff that we're finding. We want your input. I know sigils came up, so we had that discussion. That was fun. I know, I saw that. Yes. Rituals in the woods are fine on first meetings, but you don't meet up in the woods. You meet up at the coffee shop and know who you're working with, because you may be the ritual sacrifice. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No point taking chances.
Yeah, probably not
a good idea.
Good first meeting.
Yeah. I'm funny. It takes a while to meet people. There's a witch. I don't even want to call him witch because he may not call himself that in Detroit that I really want to meet up with. He seems really nice, but I just once I'm in where I'm traveling, I'm so tired. I'm like, I don't want to do anything. But I've committed to getting out and doing this because every single time I've ever gotten out and actually met somebody new or done something, I've always been happy I did. Always. So.
Would this be an okay point for me to speak about the research society that I found?
Sure.
So there, and again, I am not a member or whatever of this group, like officially pushing it, but some of y'all may already know about it, but I came across a group. It's kind of like a social media platform for occult people or whatnot, but it's called the Luciferian Research Society. And I joined, got a login and joined in and did a donation. They have got a lot of, it's a group, like a social media platform in a way. They've got a lot of articles and a lot of videos that people have created on the left-hand path mainly. A lot on Luciferianism. It's where the Order of Phosphorus has their group, and it was really cool. I came across one one content creator on there that seems really neat.
That was fun.
Jeremy Crow, and
What's his name?
I've never been able to say that name. Jeremy Crow, and he had a couple of his videos.
My name is Jeremy.
The Luciferian Research Society, which taught me to go to his, or got to his YouTube, and they've got a Discord and everything. It was just a really cool place.
What's it called?
The Luciferian Research Society. And they don't support any specific group. It's a group. There's several groups on there. Order of Phosphorus, different things. A lot of videos and content, articles, and things that people have created. And like I said, I went through their Discord and came across Jeremy Crow and saw his videos, and it was a really nice, more to my style of thought process that I resonated with. So it's a really cool group.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to check it out, it might be something that benefits or is interesting, and it might not be. But
now I do want to hit on that topic a little bit. Like, I am not somebody, and I say this a lot, I'm not left-hand path, I'm not Luciferian, I'm not Satanist, I'm not any of those things specifically. But when you look at and you get down to the meat and potatoes of all of these occult, different religious, I don't know how to say it, different paths, including paganism in general, and witchcraft and Wicca and all of them, there are so many similarities in those things that, I've had conversations with different people where I said, oh, you might be left-hand path. I'm like, I'm pagan. Yeah. Maybe I do fit into left-hand path with a lot of things, but does that mean I have to be left-hand path? No. So the reason I bring that up is because there's so many aspects of these different paths that are very open, and they speak to us in different ways because of how they're discussed. And when we open up and inform our own practices using these other places, like I am a pagan witch. Why am I reading apotheosis and occult sciences and left-hand path, and why have I read the Satanic Bible? Because they all speak to me, because they all have very valuable guidance on how to be a human and be a soul in where we live and where we are right now. So I think it's important that we say you don't have to be left-hand path to participate in left-hand path practices. You don't have to be a witch to participate in witchcraft once in a while.
Or a druid.
Or a druid, right. So it is often important for us as humans to give ourselves a category so that we know our path in a clear manner. But I am starting to learn that the more clear manner I try to make my path, the more difficult it gets. When I leave my path open and it's a field. It's a field and a forest. Every path is viable. Every walkway is viable. You just cut through it. I have been finding a lot more success in my my own positivity and my own perspectives and my own ability to manage things. So I say that because this left hand, he says Luciferian Research Society, and or YouTubers who are specific to that, or content creators as it would be, are specific to that. It is very, I think, important to really mark ourselves and allow ourselves to go through those and experience those things without having to feel like we have to be a specific thing. And that's really important. And so just wanted to throw that out there because, it's not that we're not left-hand path. It's not that we are. It's not that we have to be. And if you are, that's great. And if that's your path, that's great. But I have found being able to not have a set path forward, like I am a Wiccan, so I have to do this law and that law, and I progress through the 6 stages of Wiccanism. That holds me back. Yeah. I pull in Wicca, I pull in witchcraft, I pull in left-hand, I pull in everything I can pull in that makes me feel good about what I do, and I practice the way I practice, and I have found a much more stable personal practice and a much more friendly environment. So like with Luciferian and LHP and all these people that subscribe or describe themselves that way, they're just as valuable, and I hate to say it that way, but they're given less valued status because of the Satan part, and because of how they're categorized. And I think that's a very big misnomer, and we got to make sure we don't do that same thing.
I hear you, Mel. I'm still trying to figure out what it is too, and I think I agree. Your description of it sounds pretty accurate to me. But one thing through the videos that I've seen recently that I really liked is that,
I just kept dropping my thing in the
is that
charcoal.
you know, a lot of practitioners, and nothing wrong with it, present the dark and all this, and dark is all that, but it's really not all that.
No.
In my view and what I've seen recently, it's more of a complete path with light and dark and different things that aren't the traditional Christianity, Buddhism, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's nice because in the books that Jurian referred me to, going back to the left-hand path starts in tantric, I know the right wordage, but practices and things like that weren't all this dark and all Baphomet and all this stuff. So it's neat to what I'm kind of learning about that.
I think the important part is it is okay to label yourself as anything you want.
Sure.
If you're LHP, left-hand path, Luciferian, Satanist, Wicca, Gardnerian, white light, black light, and light, every light. But what we have to also remember is that A, you don't have to do that, and B, if you do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you don't do the other thing.
Right.
That's where, because I have a problem with this sometimes on
absolutes
with certain people. I'm just going to leave it at that. There are certain people that like to focus in on, if you call yourself a light worker, then that's all you do is light work.
Oh, right.
A light worker, in many cases, is somebody that just doesn't pay attention to the dark side, right? That does happen. But if I call myself a light worker, I might focus on that light perspective because I've experienced both sides, and that's nobody else's decision to make but mine. And I think it's really important that when we talk about left-hand path, because, and this is just my understanding, I could be wrong, but if you're going to go left-hand path and that's going to be your path, then you have to admit that indicates to the majority of a sane and logical person that there's a right-hand path, right? So there's only two paths. There's either right or left. Right is Abrahamic, and left is not. That is what you find when you look up on Google.
Oh, right.
That's like the definition. Your right-hand path would be Christianity, even Buddhism, I think. There's some specific things that go in a very specific pathway on right-hand path. And it's the way it's practiced and the way that it is self-described versus left-hand path, which is all of the things that are on the dark side of the moon, I should say. I mean, I can't think of a better way to put it. It's the occult, the hidden, the left, the non-Abrahamic, the open borders. So to me, pretty much, if you split it into pagan and non-pagan on definition, same thing. Non-pagan is the Abrahamic, pagan is Abrahamic, and the pagan is non-Abrahamic. And Abrahamic meaning following the gods of the Abrahamic religion or Judaism or Christianity, those things that have a single omnipotent God. And it comes down to, if I call myself left-hand path, it doesn't mean that I don't practice things that some people might see as on the right-hand path. Mm-hmm. Or if I label myself as neither, that 90% of my practice might be what people call left-hand path. The problem is the different kind of left and right and mixes of all these things is where it gets messy and stupid to me. And Melvin hit it on the head. That's what we really are talking about doing here when we talk about our paths. Is we're taking the middle. We're going to pull what works for both of us on both sides. The thing is, you can do that while being left-hand path, and you can do that while being right-hand path if you so choose to label yourself that way. And I think it's important to know that, for me, I consider myself a pagan witch. I have always considered myself a gray witch, somebody that goes, and I say gray not because you have some white and some dark. It's just because there's everything lives in a gray area for me. And you do what you need to do to make things work. And as a human, you're going to screw it up. If I want to hex somebody for a certain reason, I'm going to. Is it right? Maybe, maybe not. You know what I mean? So there's all of these different things that kind of fit into it. But I think not to go too far off the rails as far as I've already gone. But the key factor to me is, regardless of what you call yourself or label yourself, and regardless of what anybody else calls or labels themselves, we can't just say that that's all they are. Right? It's not like you're left-hand path, so now you're everything that's left-hand path. It's you practice the left-hand path, you call yourself someone in the left-hand path, but you might not practice every single thing on that path the same way as somebody else. And that is so important to me. And I think that comes up a lot with light workers, and that's why I brought that up. And somebody says, people call me a light worker because I'm positive. Like, that's not what a light worker is. It's not. It's just because I'm friendly and positive, and I look at positivity and I'm optimistic. Doesn't make me a light worker. That's very confusing for many people. That's not how it works. But if I was, then I should be okay to call myself that and not feel guilty that I don't necessarily fit in what somebody else thinks a light worker should be. I think that's really my point. And I have to use the restroom real quick, so I'm going to go do that.
Okay.
So you continue that conversation about left-hand path, and I'll be right back.
Oh, gosh.
There's a dead dog toy all over the floor.
Oh. No, I like your Mel's comment about self-fate. That's very good. A gray Jedi. Yeah. And I think what we kind of wanted to get into with this is how we can listen or have conversations with people, other people again, and not without the need to correct or throw our opinion in on what they're saying. Not to agree to disagree, but just to agree to have conversations like people and to listen. And maybe you do disagree, but everything, it's like, we feel the need to immediately kind of state our stance or view or opinion on an issue when it's just not necessary. I mean, we can, but I think the more important thing and what's kind of separated people is allowing our differing views to separate us. And it's just so much better when people are connected and don't separate ourselves, in my opinion. So what all are we talking about now? Oh, and next week we'll be talking about setting boundaries and releasing guilt. It can be easy to set boundaries, but I know, like, I've had to set some recently, and then why do I feel guilty about them or doing that? But that's more for next week. I kind of just mentioned about how it's important that we be able to have conversations again and be better listeners and be connected instead of separating ourselves by immediately feeling the need to what? I didn't take your stuff.
How did you get my top page?
I don't know. You must have put it there. Or maybe I did.
You did, because I was just reading it, and you have the same page.
To not separate ourselves from others with a need to immediately either state our opinion or viewpoint and then be like, oh, I don't want to talk to them. Why not? It's so much better. I actually enjoy and learn more when I interact with people that have different opinions.
I agree. I think the fun part about the whole topic and the whole discussion is really what started this for me is the idea that we should be, or people are calling people out, like, for all of these light workers and new age people, they don't really do the practice, they're not really getting into it, they're just on the super. So what? That is where they are in their soul's journey, then that is where they are. We should not be working through that process, we shouldn't be judging where they are on their journey. Can we talk to them and say, hey, I see this, what do you think about this, and have conversations? They disagree, you move on? Absolutely. I just don't see why we're spending so much time separating left-hand path and right-hand path, except for if we are trying to separate ourselves from somebody else or make ourselves feel better or stronger about what we do. It's one of the reasons why I try to just refer myself as a pagan witch, because it's just so umbrella for me. As we know, the term pagan, no pagan person called themselves pagan. They were given the term pagan because they weren't Christian or they weren't following that Christian religion, and that was, everybody else was pagan, right? Nobody went around and says, well, I practice paganism, in the hearth days. That's not how it worked, as best we know. But I really think that's really important for us to kind of consider, that we're all on a different path. And now, again, if you are left-hand path and you say, I am a left-hand path, I follow LaVeyan Satanism, I'm not saying that that's not okay. I'm just saying you should follow that. That's where you are on your journey. And if I am on my journey, and I am doing my journey, and my journey involves me picking out the tenets 1, 3, and 9, then that's my journey. And we should respect that journey. We should discuss that journey. And yes, I think, thank you, Joy. I do like that. It's the adjacent paths. Like, we can all walk in the forest together on different paths without hurting each other, you know? I could see that, Mel, I definitely. And I like that. I do, but I do understand, I think, why people label themselves and why it's important for me to say I'm a pagan witch is because I want people who are also in the pagan and witch communities to recognize that you can be who you are and do what you want and have that conversation. Because if I don't have that label, then it takes away my ability to really have any matter on the subject. It's just like me labeling myself as a nurse. If I go in, you know, I have a license, I go into a building and say, well, I'm not a nurse, I'm just somebody who really likes healthcare. I'm not going to be able to do the same things that I would unless I label myself in the nursing community. It's kind of like that for me in paganism. I want to be a part of the pagan community. The at large, the lowest common denominator for me, or is that the highest? I don't know. I don't do math that much anymore. But to be a part of that community, I say pagan because it includes, to me, all the paths that we could potentially walk. So I just like that kind of, that mindset for me. It's very helpful. I know one of our other topics that we were talking about is really about disagreeing, and I don't know how much Rook went into it, but we had brought up the topic of Salman Rushdie, who is the author who's written quite a few novels, very not salacious, but topics that aren't appreciated in religious worlds in some cases, who was attacked, probably going to lose his eye, some significant injuries. Thankfully, he's alive. But just the fact that he was attacked on stage, most likely because of those religious beliefs, led us to kind of have this personal conversation about disagreement and about the phrase agree to disagree. There's no such thing. Agreeing to disagreeing is disagreeing. You know? Because an art of having an opinion in a discussion is not a debate. So when we are talking about our paths, we should not be debating each other on our paths. I'm not debating whether Mel has to call himself a pagan or a witch or neither because he does tarot. That is not my not ability to do it. Now, if I have a personal opinion about it, I can say, hey, I think that's really weird. I don't. I'm just using it as an example. But hey, I think that's really weird, right? Then that's my opinion. It has no bearing or effect on anything. It's not an argument. It's not a debate. It's not up for debate. So there's no agreement and there's no disagreement. There's just a difference of opinion. So I want to make the point of, as we talk about our paths to each other and as we talk about where we are in the world and what we're doing, I want to create an area where we are more talking about our paths and what we've experienced and just being able to say, that sounds pretty cool, but it just isn't for me. It's not a disagreement. I didn't agree that I'm going to do what you wanted. I didn't disagree that, you can't. This is a difference of opinion. And maybe, just maybe, even with that conversation, I might not change anything, but I'm still going to pull in some information from that, kind of talk about it, and maybe ruminate in my head about it. But I just think it's important, of course, for us to kind of work through that process. It doesn't mean that we're weak because we can't make a decision or that we aren't, assertive enough. That to me is a misnomer. Being assertive and standing up for yourself doesn't mean being a dick or a jackass or a other word I'm not going to say, So that's really kind of where I'm coming from when we have this discussion about disagreement is just allowing it to be different. Not even, we don't even want to call it a disagreement. It's just a difference and let it be a difference. Me and Joy, actually, I'm glad you said that. It comes up in your classes. you'll say something to me sometimes, and you're like, well, that's fire. I'm like, well, I feel like it's water, and we're like, okay. I mean, like, there's no fight, right? Like, there's, right. And then maybe like a week later, I'm like, okay, well, maybe Joy was right. This does feel very fiery now, but it's just from the conversation. We don't disagree. We just have a difference of our opinion in that space, and we like to talk about how, I don't know, just how big it is to kind of push our agenda or make sure that we're validated by others, that we get stuck in a rut of having to be right, and it's just not about that. Like, that's just so not important at all. I'm on call for work, but I'm not picking that up right now. And I just love that, and I agree. I think a lot of that is happening now. It's very, very good time for things to kind of pull together and be joyous. So that we talked about Salman and Rushdie a little bit.
I'm interested, and I'll reach out offline, but Joy, if you have any more classes, I know we've been sick for a couple weeks, but I'd like to try to come out if you have any more classes or talks.
Yeah, I need to update our calendar too.
Oh yeah.
Because I did miss that a little bit, just with everything going on. But yes, and so and P-dubs, you may not think it, but we are learning from you too.
Oh my God, so much.
You are listening to you and having conversations with you. You're extending my own perseverance. You're making me stick a little bit harder to my goals as you keep yours and keep working through it. So it goes both ways. This is exactly what the purpose of all of this really is to me. So the topic that we kind of talked about was the agreeing to disagree isn't a thing. It's not even agree or disagree. It's just difference of opinion. That doesn't mean there isn't like some absolute right sometimes in certain things. Like, it's absolutely, in my opinion, not right to murder somebody for ritual. It's just not right. So for me, that's an absolute. But very few things would have that if they don't cause harm to others. And it's not a harm ye none thing either. I'm not saying harm ye none, do what you will, because I'm not Wiccan. But I'm not going to harm or cause or even initiate something that's going to potentially cause harm that doesn't have a purpose in my mind. If you screw me over bad enough, I don't have a problem harming you back. I really don't. I will fight back for myself, but I'm not going to reach out and slap you first, I think is my point. But that's personal. That's just me.
That harms another person or an animal, I can't really get behind. Now I'm kind of the same. I'll send the energy back to you. If you're sending some bad stuff my way, I'll send it back to you and try to in multiplication. But I'm not going to purposefully do an intentional act to harm somebody. And that's just me. I won't do it, but I'll send it back. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I've never seen, like, in my brain, and I could be just making this up, probably am, but in my mind, how I've practiced, I've never seen karma as a retribution factor. Right. It's not, you do me bad, so I do you bad, or you do bad, so you get bad, or you give good, so you get good. That's how we talk about karma.
Right.
I picture karma as, like, this massive tar pit. Whatever energy that you throw out either bounces right back at you, and you feel it because you're exhibiting that behavior. Like, if I am being angry at somebody and mad and giving vitriol, then my body's reacting in a angry, vitriolistic way, right? So I'm already getting that energy. It's not even karma. It's just physiology. But whatever gets through that karma barrier is superiorly muted because life is about us, not this whole big thing. But it is what it is, and that's something I think is very important for us to kind of focus on, is being a little bit, and it's not about, like, I don't want to just be like, oh, it's about being kumbaya and love and all this stuff. It's just be strong in your convictions, but don't be a dick about it. Mm-hmm. State your case, be who you are. Don't argue with people. Don't debate your personal beliefs. Never debate your personal beliefs. Learn from them. Ask questions, move things forward. That is really, really, I think, an important piece of us to learn. Mel, I would be very interested to hear what that is. I have the book, but I have not read it yet.
Who wrote it? Oh, I know you're going to tell me Curtis or somebody.
Curtis.
Okay.
If that's the same book I'm thinking.
Do you think is it easy for a beginner person like me and those topics to follow it, Mel, or is it something like you really have to think like every word, every sentence, and process it?
Yeah.
Is it something you have to really?
I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
Oh.
We'll wait
No,
for
that's the
Mel. Let me know. Let us know because
Yeah.
that's the next book on my list after I finish Occult Sciences.
Because you have it.
I want to use an example. Yeah, I want to use an example with Dragon Dancer and Joy that just said, it's karma delivered in your next life in the Hindu faith. Well, I'm not Hindu, so that's not how I believe, right? But I'm not going to go back and say,
Right.
Dragon Dancer, you are absolutely wrong. That is ridiculous. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And Joy, you agreeing with her, that makes you just like her. Y'all are ridiculous. That's the kind of stuff I'm really talking about.
Right.
When I know you two don't do that. Like I just wanted to kind of have that example because it was perfect.
Yeah.
How you shared something that you have, explained or expressed, and you talk about it. And those are how we get conversations. And then, that plants the seed of being able to change or transform an idea later on. I think that's beautiful stuff. I love it. And Unexplained, I actually started watching that, but I was driving and then I stopped paying attention because I forgot.
There's a review on it?
He did it on his channel. Yeah, we're gonna watch that. That's what we're gonna watch next.
We'll watch it
after
we
this.
finish. We'll watch Mel's review on
Unless Steph is doing tarot, we'll watch her.
Yeah,
first.
if Steph's doing
She's
tarot,
live.
we'll watch her live and then we'll watch it.
Might I say, since we're talking about that, I watched your last tarot and chat. I just absolutely love those. I turn them on in the morning sometimes at the hotel when I'm taking a shower and getting ready, and just listen to them all the way to work.
Who's?
Mel doing tarot and
Ooh, cool.
having chats with people and stuff. It's so much fun, and I love your style of tarot. It's bonkers good.
And I agree with whom said that you have a calming effect on people,
Yes.
which is a very good
But
thing.
I don't think that has anything to do with light working though.
No, but
But if you were a light worker, that would be
necessarily.
fine.
That's
Like
fine.
some people in the left-hand path feel like they're dark and ominous
And that's what it doesn't resonate
It's not that.
with me. There's parts of it
left-hand
that
path is very positive when you really dig into it from what we've seen.
It can be very
Yeah.
dark as you want to be, but it's a complete thing. To me, it doesn't seem like it's an aesthetic.
Exactly.
It's a practice that combines a lot of things.
And if I am a left-hand path and my pathway has me on the dark and ominous, then that is fine.
That's what you need.
That's what you need. But don't say that a light worker is not a true person because they're only doing light work. Maybe that is their calling. I don't like it when we're using, I guess this is where I'm getting at ultimately, and I didn't even realize this, and this is what talking does when you talk these things out loud. I am frustrated. I am feeling frustration in my head over multiple times where people act like being a light worker is an insult. Or being positive and optimistic is an insult or fake or fraudulent. That is what's bothering me.
I think it's a gift.
It is
needed, different.
And but I feel bad at myself too. Shadow work, right? Because when people call me a light worker, I feel I need to defend. I'm not a light worker. I'm gray. Right. You know what? I need to stop saying that. It's fine if you think I'm a light worker. That's good.
There's a healing with that, just like there's a healing with.
Y'all just saw me having epiphany on air. That is shadow work.
I think there's healing with being the lighter and positive side of things, just as there's healing that comes from having to pull out the dark and the shadows when they're needed.
Yeah.
I think and that's why I like it. I didn't come up with that word, of course, but I've heard it before. The crooked or complete path is how I like to describe things, because nobody's an absolute of anything. And if you are, you might want to check those chakras.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why I've been so comfortable calling myself pagan. I called myself Wiccan for many years, and I don't want to have to say that that's not a problem. You can be Wiccan like that. I didn't grow out of Wiccan to become pagan. I just realigned more with paganism. There's a lot of Wiccan tendencies in what I do, and there's nothing, and that is used as an insult a lot too. See, oh well, they're just a little too Wiccan, or they're too Druid, or I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like when people they almost judge a little bit. Was like Wiccan's the first. I got into the occult through Wiccanism, and then I learned that that's not, to me, that is judgmental.
Yeah.
I got into the path with Wicca, and I didn't grow out of Wicca. I just realigned my path differently. It became less about what turned me off with Wicca is the Wiccan Read and some of those requirements. That's what turned me off.
Was almost Catholic in nature.
There is some yes.
Well, really,
Which
a
isn't
lot
a problem
of occultism. I'm right. There's nothing wrong with Catholicism.
Well,
but I mean,
in theory,
if that's what they want to do. But if you think about it, rituals are similar to Catholic.
That's true, Dragon. Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
I grew up Southern Baptist. I don't practice that now, but I'm certainly not going to denounce that part of my life.
I will denounce the way that those people made me feel.
Yes, I think they're wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's my opinion.
Yeah.
All I can do now is build upon that. What have I learned? And I don't think we should ever put down any religion or practice.
Yeah, I want to point out, Heather's talking about karma coming from the Hindu faith. The Western version leaves out so much. I think that is very well put, and I think that is even more important because that is the kind of discussion that comes out of having these talks, right?
Right.
And so where people start realizing that in the Western, in our world, the Western version, we have personified karma and made it a person. Karma's a bitch, right? It is so, but that's not what it's about. And karma, from what I understand in Hindu, is
justice.
It's not just it's not a person. It's not a thing. It's not tangible. It's a whole perspective, and it's it's everything. It's the whole universe realigning and rebalancing itself. It's not something that happens to you. Karma doesn't happen to you. Karma occurs, and so that I think those are the kind of conversations that are really cool. And then, yes, the problem with light worker, a lot of people cause a lot of harm with the label because people are just like, the healers. They're always healers. They're always light workers. Well, you know what? There's a lot of people that are focused on that, and that's good. But I get where she's coming from. That's a good point.
Thank God we have healers. Thank gods.
See, and that is the kind of comment. You need to read that last comment by P. Dubs. That is how you know that you are in the right place. You have the mindset of magic. That is exactly what it's about. That is probably the most wise thing that I have seen in a long time.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I mean, that is exactly the purpose. That's exactly where we're going.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
It is all about that. So, being labeled just makes people want to... But I get the reasoning, but the further away we get from labels, I think the better we are about things. Like, I don't know. It just becomes like this. I think people feel like when they lose their individuality, they lose who they are. But if you're in the moment where losing your individuality loses who you are, then you didn't really have a strong individuality to begin with. And so that needs to be something I would think you would want to work on. I have become a lot less needing for labels as an adult than I was when I was in my teens. I needed to be labeled gay as a teen because I needed to be in that community. Now I'm like, I'm probably more aligned to I don't know.
I'm a reader.
I'm
a reader.
I like scary movies.
Yeah, I'm a horror fan.
Those labels are a lot less important now.
A candle lover.
And I think that's important, and that's very important. So I think this was some great topics. I feel those were really nice.
I feel like I've been to church.
I don't know enough about it, Dragon Dancer, to go into any detail, but that is a topic. Oh, by the way, meant to do this. There are a lot of people who participate in discussions like Paranormal Witch, Dragon Dancer, Joy, Unexplained Possibilities. All of you guys, a lot of you are also creators who are doing things and creating things on your own paths. One of the things that, and I know, Rook, you probably don't remember because this was like almost 6 months ago, and I found it in my notes this morning, that we talked about doing was getting some of you, if you're willing, offline, random day, whenever we're available, on a 15, 20-minute conversation between the three of us, not live, recording it, and then all of us putting it on our respective channels as kind of a discussion about a very specific topic. For example, Dragon Dancer. If you know more, which it seems like you do, about like the Hindu, the karma, dharma, healer versus light worker and that stuff, would love to have a conversation about that offline where we can kind of control it. We would all agree on what actually gets posted, and then we can, if you have a channel, you can post it. If not, we'll post it on ours. Doesn't matter. It wouldn't, we don't own it. But we wanted to do that because I think some of these specific topics we're not the experts on, and not everybody's going to be able to get here. Not everybody's going to be able to get on live and have the discussion like at a moment's notice. So if you are interested in that, let us know. Because if so, we'll reach out to you separately and maybe get a topic together. Paranormal Witch, I know you probably... I don't think you necessarily... I don't know if you do or not care about being on live or something, but you have a topic I think that... I'd love to get more out of more ways for us to share information if they're more comfortable. So
I would love Paranormal Witch, and this is none of my business, but I would love her to do video versions of the blogs that she puts out.
I was thinking about that.
I would love her to do video blogs of the topics that she does on her
or
Instagram
just
blogs.
audio blogs.
Or audio blogs.
Or if you cared about it and wanted to, like we would like to even narrate some of them and talk about them because I think they're so neat and can be shared in just like little 5 and 10 minute spots. But anyway, just stuff to throw out there.
I love P-Dubs to do her some video blogs or audio. Either way.
Yeah.
It's not everybody I know wants to put their face out there, but
I just like that. I want I say I because that's mostly things that I've been thinking in my brain. But we want to leave open different avenues for people to kind of have conversations and things with, because I really like that idea. I don't want us to be like the editor-in-chief of saying, oh, this goes or this doesn't go either. Like, that's not the point. But I just think it would be neat. If it's something that would help you get your message out and you want to talk about it, but you don't want to manage your own channel, then send us a video. We'll share it.
We'll help you. We'll edit it for you how you like. And
I mean, it gives us more content. I'm not going to lie. That's a benefit for us as creating, putting stuff out there. But really the goal is to have some of these detailed conversations so for us to really have and talk about. I do want to hit our conversation that we skipped on Mabon. Mabon is the next Sabbath. Generally 9/21 to 9/24. This is the fall equinox. Or is it the solstice? It's equinox, right? Equinox. It's second harvest. So this is our fruits and vegetables and some nuts, and we're getting ready to kind of go through. There is a third harvest, Samhain, but this one is much more about that celebration of having enough food and plenty. This is the cornucopia. If you have an altar decoration and if you want to decorate your altar for Mabon, you would do nuts, gourds, fruits, vegetables, leaves, autumn colors like golds, reds, browns. The color of fall in Virginia is absolutely stunning.
Beautiful colors.
Apples is another big thing for Mabon, and there's a whole story. We're going to talk about that in the future. My top two, if I had to rate my top two, Dragon Dancer, Samhain is my favorite, and I know that's very generic for most people, but it just is. I love fall, always have. I'm a late August baby. Birthday is actually coming up in 2 weeks. Just throwing that out there. But
you get nothing.
Mabon is probably my favorite because Thanksgiving would be my favorite holiday before I was able to practice, but my family ruined it for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, the last couple of Thanksgivings that we've done with family have been fine, but really, Mabon is where it's at for me. It's more appropriately timed and placed, I think, as far as Thanksgiving. And I am super excited. We're going to do something for Mabon. Probably not something huge. I have a feeling we'll probably just say, like, come over again, pool, cook, something light.
I miss the cook for Lunasaw. I miss the cooking.
Yes.
And I miss that, and I want to have Joy and whoever over and do the cooking again. That is like, it's like time well spent together that produces something delicious.
Yes. So, we will, so Samhain, I know, Joy, you had mentioned earlier, we definitely need to figure out what we're doing for Samhain. I don't know if we're going to do anything here. I'm not against it. I just don't know if anybody has anything else planned. And then, what's the other one?
Yule?
Mabon.
Oh,
No, Yule not yet. But for Mabon, we want to do something very light and low-key and calm. I think definitely maybe a cooking. Maybe we'll do another cooking stream. That's something we haven't done in a while. Like the week before Mabon, or even we can have people over and cook and just cook. Because that was fun. We need to do another bread. We'll use a cycle of seasons.
Mystic Salon birthday party.
Yeah, you know how I feel about that.
Ooh, Melvin's making breakfast.
Yeah. I want to make for Mebon. I want to do apple dumplings like my grandmother used to make.
Oh God, that sounds.
So
delicious.
I'm going to try it. I found a recipe that is similar to it that reminds me of it. And it's apple dumplings basically. You make like apples and they're cooked in sauce with cinnamon and sugar, and then they're rolled up in little dough dumplings and then fried in deep fryer, so they're crispy. The other thing I really want to make is the pickled cucumbers with hot candy, hot nows or hot.
Oh, okay. That sounds
Little,
like
red
it could be
hots.
good.
That's what they're called, little red hots.
Have I had them?
No. My grandmother made them the entire time I was growing up. She canned and made them all herself. I cannot remember. My boss was supposed to actually get me a recipe for them because she was familiar with them out in Kansas. So, but I want to. Our theme from a bone this year to me is all things apples. So I'm thinking I want to try to find like a main dish that incorporates apples, a dessert that incorporates apples, a bread that incorporates apples. So I'd like to do apples. That's like a big thing for me this year with Mebon. And I want to use all of the different kinds of apples.
How long does it take to make your apple dumplings?
So, right now, moving on, because we
long
got to
did
get to
she ignore
tarot.
me?
Yes, we got to get to tarot.
Oh.
What was I going to say? Yes, owl apples. Currently, Sun is in Leo. We will be going into Virgo soon. Hi, I'm your resident Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, and Taurus rising here. The Leo that we are currently in, we're kind of getting towards the cusp. Not there yet, but we're getting there. That's like the 23rd, 23rd is the cusp. Fifth sign of Zodiac, the Lion, the fixed fire, ruled by the Sun. If you are a Leo, then carnelian is a gem that would be good for you. So keep that up. Ooh, apple fritters, that sounds good too. Never cooked them. I've had them, never had them.
I want a Belgian waffle maker, and can we put that on top of the Belgian waffles?
You wouldn't
dumplings?
want. I don't. Yes. Well, no. I think you would put cooked apples on it, but I don't think like cooked apples and like apple butter maybe.
Yeah. Do you know how to make apple butter?
I don't. And I love apple butter.
Heather, do you know how to make
Do
apple
we know how
butter?
to? Oh God, if we could make
Answer?
apple butter, that would be amazing. Like scratch apple butter. I'm not churning the milk or what the stuff, but
I'll churn. I'm a good stirrer.
shit stir.
How long does it take to make
apple
your
bread.
apple
She
dumplings?
makes apple bread.
Ooh.
We're gonna learn that one. We're gonna learn that. Today, we just passed the full moon last week, and it was a full moon. We could tell.
Oh my god.
The energy. This has been almost as crazy as it was at the beginning of this year. Remember, January, February, energy was all over the place. Started calming down. Last week we had a repeat, but it was short. Thank God, and goddess. So I am going to. So right now we're in Pisces. It's moving into Aries. As far as the moon, we are a waning gibbous, 92% illuminated. So waning is on the side of the full moon that's getting smaller. Gibbous means protuberant, like overeaten or pregnant. So that's why it's gibbous, because it looks like an open belly, right?
Oh, me last week.
Yes, me this week. So we are in waning gibbous. So this is our drawing down.
Yeah.
So often we talk about magic right now would be magic that draws down after the full moon. Now, granted, we're still within just a day or two of the full moon, maybe 3. We're still in some pretty high full moon energy at 92% illuminated. So if you missed the full moon and you need to do some high energy work and some big manifestation, you still have time to do that. But we are in currently Pisces with the moon. So let's do a quick zodiac weather forecast. I wrote this morning based on my limited knowledge of astrology.
Oh, cool.
It's the first time I've written my own full little forecast based on how I understand it. So
Awesome.
here goes nothing. With the sun in fixed fire and moon in immutable water, moving into a cardinal fire for a few days and then into earth energy. By midweek, we've got some work to do early this week. Leo is helping keep your fire lit, but it's been tough the past couple of days, which it has. Mutable water has helped us get all of that emotional energy back on track and parse out those attachments so that this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, our passion projects, we can really hammer them home and start working on them. And then the Pisces moon energy will evaporate and we're ready to go into that transformation. So Monday, Tuesday, action. Let's do stuff. Let's get the things that we really enjoy and want to do going. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we need to rest. We're getting to some earth energy, so we need to reroot ourselves and get our feet back on the ground because we're going to be really high up. And then recuperate from this fast-moving few days. So the pathway from today, Then Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday to the end of the week is work hard, breathe, relax, recharge. Our next full moon is September 10th, which is the harvest moon, which is fitting because it's right before we go into our second harvest, so it makes sense. And then our next new moon, though, will be a little bit before that, August 27th, and that will be in Virgo with the sun Virgo. So I'm very excited about that. That's going to be a good day for me. That's a couple of days before my birthday. So August 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, I have a feeling that my best exercise is going to be as a Virgo sun. Listen to this. It makes sense. Virgo sun, Virgo moon. August 27th, it's going to be a Virgo sun, Virgo moon, right before my birthday. So this is my root time. This is all going to be about grounding, meditation, drumming, repetition, being calm, being specific. We're going to have a fire. I'm ready for it.
Oh, and our chimnea?
In our chimnea.
That's so cool.
Whew, I got that out in 5 minutes. Sorry to rush that because I want to get to tarot. Me too, Dragon Dancer. It's been nuts. I've been, when I know I can still, and I do still practice when I'm sick, but I can tell the muteness of it. And so yesterday when I did my tarot, if any of you guys actually listened to it, it was a little discombobulated. I still wasn't in my right space. I did do my meditation, but I'm still, the last 4 or 5 days, I have been so hyper and over energetic and over verbal. Assuming because I've been quiet during the COVID and had sore throat and all that stuff, but I have been super fast and chatty and talky, and that's not my normal. So I'm hoping I start kind of winding it back down into normalcy a little bit, and maybe next week have some good normal processes back. But did you guys do anything? Anybody do anything crazy or fun for the last full moon? I think it was supermoon, wasn't it? Or is that November?
Super duper fly.
But anyway, I think it was a supermoon. Did you guys do anything fun for that one?
You need more? I'll get you. Watch Tina while I go. Come on, Tina, put you down. Do you see my daughter? Tina?
She looks irritated.
Why?
I appreciate it. I do feel like it was meaningful, and I felt like I got a good connection, but I feel like my physical body and my physical earthbound-ish right now is just energy is not, it's not settled right. Like I need a chakra balance. I need to do another chakra balance. And then the last one that you did, Heather, I didn't even I wasn't even paying attention, and I missed it, and I needed it. But I've got my table out, and we'll do probably some balancing here soon because I was a little off still, I'm blaming it on just not having, a lot of time to talk or a lot of social interaction over the last 2 weeks, and I need it. As much of an introvert as I actually am, I need social interaction periodically. So, Lionsgate, forgot about that too.
What is it? I mean, I've saw a little bit about it. It's like a new age thing.
We watched a whole video on it.
Well, we tried. But
that's right. They went
videos
crazy.
That we pulled up were like kind of weird, hard to understand.
Does anybody have a recommended resource for Lionsgate that we can go deeper into? Because everything that we did find, and we've heard of it, we know a little bit about it for sure, and we probably can just run a good discussion about that. But any good resources? Because what we found was very, I don't know, people were crazy. It was crazy. Maybe that's just how Lionsgate is, but it was weird. Like I was like, nah, I'm not really digging what they're selling on here. But would also love that, absolutely. I am always down for a healing circle. I mean, Rook and I both are pretty versed in our Reiki practice. Granted, I do want to learn Dragon Reiki. I was talking to my one of the people in Malice Experience, Biker Witch it's Odin's Eye Tarot, has a Dragon Reiki process that I really want to get involved in and kind of see how that goes for that. But yeah, we definitely need some healing circles. I need some grove time. So we'll definitely be looking at that. I think that's it on our notes. Like, I think we've covered everything we really wanted to hit today. Anybody have any questions, comments, snide remarks before we start doing some tarot? Some tarot.
I'll be clarifying with the Brittany Oracle
Okay.
on how to make
Anybody
you
have
stronger,
any questions so far?
stronger than yesterday.
Oh, that's just amazing.
Laundry. Ooh, I hear you, honey.
Yeah, laundry is good.
I gotta do some laundry today.
Do you know what tarot I'm using?
No. What tarot? Horror. Ooh, well, that'll be an interesting combo of the horror.
With Britney Spears.
I can't say that word apparently either. Horror, tarot deck, and Britney Spears Oracle. Hey, why not make it fun, right?
All right.
So this is the deck. I wonder if you
Paranormal
can see
Witch. I appreciate that. Might put that on a project for Rook to do. And then we might do a couple of things and get your permission first on those individual things and see if you like them before we would actually do that, because obviously credit is yours. She's saying we can use content on our channel if we want to, but I would want to make sure it was in a way that she liked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we'll reach out to you maybe offline about that and kind of talk a little bit about it. Just because, I don't want anybody to think that it's not our, it's our content, but.
Can you fire up a pellet? I need to cleanse these cards. Oh, here, I can.
I can. I was already shuffling though and wanted to finish. All right, so let's start taking a poll. Who wants a card? Who's in the chat? We will go in order of response. I'll make a quick list. As we get our charcoal started, this is going to be another quick one for each person. It is a 2-card draw. You will get one from, and I'm going to put it up now. I forgot to do that a minute ago. That's what I was actually working on. But you're going to get a 1-card draw from the Horror Tarot deck. This is a neat deck. I'm going to use this a couple times. I probably will bring it back out. And then Rook is going to be using the Britney Spears Oracle.
As such.
So you can put both of them.
Oh, baby, baby. Oh, baby, baby.
God dang it.
Isn't that beautiful how I was singing right now?
No. It was horribly terrible. Made
Was
me
it
scared.
inspiring? Did you all like my singing? Did it motivate your Sunday?
So we have Dragon, we have Paranormal,
And
we
there's
have
nothing you can do
Unexplained.
or say. I probably can't be singing that.
Yeah, you might get us like copywritten because you sound so much like her. So before we get started, the Horror Tarot is a full 78 card book deck. It is by Adia Gmitter and Minerva Siegel, illustrated by Abigail Larson. The book is cute. It's got some pretty good colors to it. The deck itself is I think it's a little childish. It's very cartoony. The cards are really cheap. Like, this is not a premium card deck. The borders are actually kind of cool. I do like the borders. And I also really like the, and you'll see this maybe, the labels on the cards are actually foil raised. So you can feel it. It's got a texture to it. So that is really nice. But the cards themselves are pretty flimsy. I feel like if I shuffle them just a little too hard, I'd probably permanently bend it.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
I have to be very careful.
This scares me right here. What's going on?
Well, then stay the heck away from it.
It scares me.
You scare me. You look scary. Get the fuck away from my Chardonnay. My Prosecco, or whatever the hell it is.
Asti!
Oh, I love Asti. Highly recommended if you want a very easy, light Sunday morning drink with your...
Asti.
It's Martini and Rossi's Asti.
Help me, Asti, help me. I've had enough. I'm not your property.
I'm going to play Toxic in a minute. It's your favorite song.
Oh, I hate Toxic. Oh.
We will have to look that up. That is funny.
My favorite Brit song is Give Me More.
My favorite Britney song, and I am not a fan of Britney Spears very much, is Breathe on Me. Shh, please don't. You're going to mess up my settings on my microphone. You might even blow the condenser. Please. No worries, Cauldron Witch. We are 100% fine with that. We like being background. Trust me. We are pulling cards, though. So far, we've got Dragon Dancer, Paranormal, and Unexplained Possibilities. We're just waiting to get some cleansing done on these cards, since both of these are decks that have not been utilized before. And then we're going to pull 2 cards. You're going to get 1 horror card, and we're going to get 1 Britney Spears homework card.
Yes! The legendary.
All negativity from manufacturer and anybody else who's touched these cards or this materials is cleansed away. Cleansed
Oh, Melvin
away.
likes Toxic.
So do I. I actually like...
I like the video.
There you go. Cleanse your cards.
Let me cleanse mine. All negativity, whether created or attached, any contact will leave and go out through our air conditioning ducts to the outside, since we don't have an open window. Ooh, that smells really good.
Mm-hmm. It's Hindu home protection.
All negativity is cleansed from these cards and will leave. Be replaced with positive energy. The negative energy will leave through the air conditioning system and travel outside.
That's not how it gets outside. Just for the record.
Well, that's how mine is.
No, we're gonna have to open up a window. Not right this second. All right.
All right. Whoop, whoop. Brittany. Who are we doing? Dragon?
Yeah, we'll do Dragon first, but I see Joy just wrote, yup, me too. I'm not 100% sure. I'm assuming with the delay, that means she wants to be on the list. So we're going to pull a card for you, Joy, when we get there. If you don't want one, though, just mention it when we get there. But yeah, so Dragon is first.
All right. What does Dragon need to hear for
Dragon Dancer.
this week?
Dancer for money.
Do what you want. Do what she only wants to do. She's a dragon dancer.
All right.
What does Dragon need to know?
Dragon Dancer's horror card is the 5 of Swords.
Okay, let me take this up.
Let me get this over here so I don't mess it up, because I want it to be,
Do what you want me to do.
I did call that right. It is the 5, right?
Yes.
All right.
Brittany, what wisdom does Dragon need to pay attention to this week?
So with a quickly response, your 5 of Swords can mean lots of things. Now, 5s are generally and traditionally focused on just rubbed my card across that thing. Are traditionally challenges, right? So we talked about that before, where you're looking at 5s are oftentimes a challenge. Your 5 of Swords is no different. So this is a little bit of a warning to maybe look and make sure that people around you that are saying and doing stuff aren't being, how do we say it nice? Barriers. Toxic.
Ooh.
And I didn't make that up, by the way. That's actually in the book. So somebody around, not saying that they are a toxic person, but there might be a toxic conversation or something that is toxic that's near you right now that you need to just make sure you find it. It's maybe an argument you're having or some negative energy somewhere, and just push it off and say, look, I ain't nobody got time for that. Not the person, just that specific conversation and discussion. And I think that that's going to be very helpful or very important that we separate the behavior from the person, because we all can be toxic at some times with things that we do. We all can be negative. But this is the warning to you that somebody or some conversation or some argument or some thing that's around you right now is having a little bit of a toxic situation. And that situation needs to be let go. It needs to be like, all right, we're not doing this right now. Just move on back to business and let's go back to being what we're doing. And then I think Rook has a babe for you. A babe. Babe with the power. The power of hoodoo, you do.
Yes. So I have Boho Babe, which is for Bohemian Babe.
That is hilarious.
And this says that continue to, no matter what comes in fashion, what comes around, stick to things that you know and love and work for you. Follow your intuition and your style. There's no need to make any changes right now. Not for next week.
Good. So that goes along with the Five of Swords, because it's, again, you're talking about sticking your ground, standing with the things you know, and that's going to bring you a positive outcome. I like it.
Yeah. She's not, styles, the thing is, styles come and go and fads and trends and that, but this card represents, and the energy is saying stick with what you like, whether it's in style or not. You know what's best for you, and that always works. No change needed.
No change needed.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight into some things. Then yesterday.
What does the horror of Brittany have to tell me? I just saw that, Dragon.
Oh, I didn't see that either. That is hilarious.
Oh, that's good.
That is hilarious. I love it. Oh my god, that is fun. Paranormal Witch is up next.
Ooh, what does
the horror of Brittany have to show you?
What does the horror of Brittany have to show P-Dubs?
P-Dubs. P-Dubs has a lot going on for her right now. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, a lot of
things.
good stuff. Yeah. What does P-Dubs need to know for Brittany?
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Paranormal Witch. Your card from the Horror Tarot today is the Seven of Cups. You can throw that up when you have a minute. You don't have to stop what you're doing. I will allow it.
Sorry. Wait till you see which one I drew for you.
Yeah, that's gonna be
okay.
Yeah. So the Seven of Cups, it's a little bit of making sure that you don't make a decision before you have all of the facts. So it's not a negative card by any means. You see, there's lots of things on here to choose from, and what it's saying is, don't just choose blindly. Think about it a little bit. Be very specific in what you're going for. So if you're thinking about right now doing something, or I'm not talking about like this big thing, but maybe you're trying to decide what you're doing next week, or how this is going to go, something's going to happen over the next couple weeks, or there's just something that you need to work on, but you have more than one option or more than one way to go about it. Think through each one first and don't make a snap decision. Just make sure you get all of the facts before making a final piece about it. Now, I'm not going to tell you what Rook's card is, but seeing it already, it goes along with the Seven of Cups, because it's something to do with a situation or a person in your life that you're trying to decide about. Whether it's you're trying to decide, is this going to work? Do I really need to keep this person around? Is this person maybe in your life, and you gotta kind of hold them back just for a moment while you're working on something else? And that's what you would need to do. But all in all, it could be a decision as simple as, I don't know, what you're going to wear a certain day to work. I don't know. What I do know is that you need to have all of the facts about the decision before you make it. And that's going to happen this week.
Okay, Miss P-Dubs. I drew for you the schoolgirl. And what this is telling you to do is, yes, you're still in school. You're working through that process. You've been successful with your practice. But school's not out. Keep studying. but have fun and enjoy the process, and you will be successful.
It is too funny.
That is too funny that I pulled the schoolgirl for you.
That is, I like that. I love the schoolgirl because it's a measure of both learning and fun at the same time. It's almost like it's giving you a little bit more to balance. You know, schoolgirl. That is funny.
What are we doing?
Next is unexplained possibility.
Ooh, what does the horror of Brittany have to say for unexplained?
What unexplained possibilities are there from Brittany? And the Brittany horror.
HORROR, not WH.
Yeah, one of the things I like about the cups is they're always, even on the most quote-unquote negative of the cups, it's still something that you can overcome or make decisions on that will affect future decisions, because I always think of water. Even though I'm earth all the way through, water is my most comfortable element. I love being in the pool. I love being in the ocean. I love being in the water. I love being in the rain. I love water. I love what it represents of clarifying and cleansing and making things back to a normal sense again. It's a refreshing thing. And so no matter what cup you get, as far as it's an ace, any of the cups, it always backs you through to a reset, to a place of being very ancient but very new at the same time. I don't know how else to say it. So, but yes, in paranormal, being at school is important. Doesn't mean you're actually the schoolgirl, but you're using the essence of the schoolgirl. And with that cups, just again, facts before you make a decision. We say at work, it's fact versus fiction. So you want to make sure you have those in there. Unexplained. All right, I tried to pull a card and I got a jumper instead.
All right. Oof. What say you, jumper boy?
And then I almost fell. Oh my butt.
Don't fall.
Oh, my favorite card in the entire tarot deck. Do you know what it is, Rook? I have two. They're side by side early in the deck. We've talked about it multiple times.
High Priestess.
That's my number 2 card. What's my number 1?
The Magician.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
So you got the Magician.
Oh, he ready to be. He doing some shit.
He doing shit. Thank you.
Melvin be doing.
Yes, and you know what, Mel? Water nourishes the earth. So completely true. But water also changes the earth, and it also slowly whittles the earth away, and it relocates and transforms the earth. So you have like the Grand Canyon or the rivers where water has changed the earth and moved it somewhere else and made it either probably better or just different. Love, love, love how water and earth go together. But let's talk about this Magician. I am all about the Magician.
Do you?
We have had these conversations before about favorite cards and stuff, and I've always held fast. And Rook thankfully remembered, thankfully for him, that the Magician is my favorite card, second to the High Priestess. High Priestess is second. So the Magician, in this particular card, I think a little bit more like Chemist. I think he looks like a chemist, doesn't he? Like he's mixing stuff.
Does.
But that's what a magician is doing, right? We are making magic. We are manifesting. We are putting all the different elements and things together and making them happen and moving. And you know, what scheme do you have now? What is it that's in your hands that you are making that it's exciting, it's fun, it's progress, it's forward, and it is growth. You are in a stage of growth right now, and you're in a stage of creating your own growth. And that is like the most fun stage to be in. Like for us, the Magician for me is present when we are cooking, when we are making soaps and we're making things and we're doing tarot. All of those things are the actions of the Magician. And I love that activity, that manifestation. It's alchemy. It's growing yourself and changing yourself and making yourself better. It is all pulling in the elements. It is the manifestation of everything, of magic. And I absolutely love it. It's such a good consort to the High Priestess, though, because the High Priestess is working alongside the Magician, and the High Priestess is the one telling the Magician, don't skip anything. Let's go through it, because we need to experience the whole thing. And that's why those are my two favorite cards. But the Magician is absolutely telling you, You are in an action phase. You are in a creation phase. You need to continue working, making, and transforming things, because as you do it and as you're making these little small adjustments, Melvin, you are creating a new you and a new pathway for yourself that's going to change as you continue. And I think Rook is going to talk about a very interesting card that I never would have picked for you. Not that we picked it, I'm just saying.
Well, we didn't pick it.
I'm not going to say it, you have to say it. So Brittany has appeared for you, Melvin, in a very strange form.
Yes, she has.
Oh my goodness, that is hilarious.
But I think it fits. So, for you, from the Brittany Oracle deck, I drew the Starlet. And what this is about is...
she's a star.
Your success will come in the near future, possibly this week. And when you're receiving praise, compliments, and success, don't take it with modesty. Acknowledge it and enjoy your moment of
Like,
success.
damn right, I'm good.
But do it with grace, as I think you
that wasn't graceful.
You do, but not modesty. Take your moment, take your success, and be graceful with it and enjoy it. You've worked it, and it's your time to glam up, to shine, and just bask in that.
I love it. That really goes together. Like it's making a transformation change, and then accepting the accolades for it. She's so lucky. She's a star. She
I like that song a lot too. Thinking.
What's the one? She sings one about jeans. That's a pretty good one. Or is that in Breathe On? It's right around that song. Breathe On Me. I've never done drag in my entire life, but if I did drag, Breathe On Me would be my debut song.
It would be.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we on, Miss Joy? Joy in.
So, yes, Joy is next. Joy, if you are still in, just say hello and we'll pull a couple cards for you. Unexplained possibilities. If you want to share what you're working on in September, or are you saying you're going to share in September what you've been doing? Or you're going to share now what you've been doing, and it's going to happen in September.
And don't forget, we have to watch his video about the book review.
We are watching.
Ahriman?
I had it up earlier.
Is that how you say it? Ahriman?
The book of Ahriman.
Ahriman,
I think. So I'm not a book reviewer person, because like the information gets assimilated in my brain, and I don't like to take notes like that kind of way.
Joy is here.
So
Joy is here.
Joy is here.
We'll do Joy, and then we'll put up our creator page and tell about everyone that we love and know.
All right, so we've been watching Ugliest House in America, and Retta likes to sing half of her stuff, so that's where this is coming from.
Retta from Ugliest House in America is my sister.
Yes, she is.
We have different dads. It's on my daddy's side.
I bet it is.
We are related.
Oh dear.
Check out Ugliest Houses in America, and you'll see Retta, and she sings randomly, and it's great. Oh.
Well, Miss Joy.
Woo.
So I pulled for you the Ten of Swords. This Ten of Swords is a little different. And in this position, in this particular deck, it's representing a very brief spout of pain of being stabbed in the back, or being left with something that's kind of like well, that just sucked. So something recently has happened, and it's just been like, well, that just, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like that. That just wasn't right, or something in that realm of. Now you handle things very gracefully when those things occur, but something maybe in your brain, and you maybe have not shared it with anybody, is my gather. But it was a minor feel, like a stab in the back. And the reason I say minor is because in this deck, what you're seeing, it's a little bit different, right? We're seeing it from a horror perspective. We're seeing it in the bones. We're seeing it in the sand. But the representation of that is those daggers can represent one of two things. The daggers were left there after the fall, or the daggers caused the fall of the person. So there's this feeling of, it's a brief, fleeting, I wish you wouldn't have done that. That sucked. But then your rebound of it is good, but you're going to remember that, and it's probably going to be somewhat detrimental to whatever relationship that was. That relationship or that acquaintance even is going to change and probably become a little bit more distant than it was. I don't see who it's about. All I know is it's brief, and it's not a massive betrayal of entire things. It's just it's something that was not fun. It was not happy. It was recent, and you're moving on from it just fine. You're handling things very gracefully on that front, but that other person is probably going to lose you as close of a person as you have been to them at that point, if that makes any sense. I can see it. Rook is doing some good card. Brittany is singing. Brittany's singing like a canary today because she can't on a regular day.
I was born to make you happy. That's another one of my favorite ones.
Well, I'm glad. You should listen to it.
Miss Joy, what Brittany has to tell you today.
Sunshine and rain.
As the visionary, you've got some concepts, some ideas, some plans that come from experience, but not only experience from different things you're picking up through meditation, just through signs in the universe. Listen to those because you're truly wise, and you will know what direction to take as you see them. Pay attention to things that repeat or things that stick out. And with what you're doing, working on, a visionary not only sees a good path, walks a good path, but also influences others. So just pay attention to the signs, and you will know what to do and how to continue, and in doing so, you will continue to inspire others. Joy
has been a significant influence on my path in a positive way.
So you are the visionary.
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
Well, hopefully that gives you all some guidance and some thoughts. I really enjoyed this deck.
Which one? The
horror and the Brittany.
Yeah. I like Britt.
Yeah,
she's got some
cool.
good words of wisdom. Can we put up a
We will. Give it a minute. Hold on.
For our friends.
Anybody else in the chat? I can't see the list, the participant list, but I want to give one more opportunity. If anybody wants to read in the chat before we put our decks away.
Ooh, new class. Whoop, whoop. Journey of the Soul.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to do two things. We've got to do three, actually. Eclipsing the Shadow. We have a plan finally written out for our Elements videos. We did the initial video, and then we're separating them out. So I'm sure that's going to be very similar, I think, Joy, to some of the things that you've done. Ours is going to be I think it's going to be a little bit different insofar as it's more about just a little bit of how-to versus actually doing. So we'll see how it goes. They're going to be short, super short videos. And then we're going to do our Eclipsing Shadow. We're going to do that. And then we want to kind of get some of these other contents and things in.
I think Stephanie might want a card.
Yeah, it looks like it.
All right. Let's see what the horror Brittany has to say for Steph.
I think Stephanie loves Britney Spears. Is that true or false?
I cannot see Steph liking Britney Spears, but I could be wrong. I love her, but I don't know that Steph
think
would
she's
like
gonna shock you.
I don't
be like,
see
I think
Steph
she seems like a...
as a Brit fan.
Yeah, I'm not a Britney fan.
Maybe Lita Ford, but not Britney. I don't know.
Where the hell did that come from?
I could see Steph like with metal music or something. Oh goodness, that don't matter.
Yeah,
Let's
no.
What?
No, you always can.
What does Britt have to say to Steph?
Participation is not what it's about. You're here right now. You can hear. We're good.
Not crazy about it. I was right.
I was kidding, by the way. Unexplained. Let me just say, if anybody has ever talked the talk and walked the walk, it's Joy. And I can think of in the past 20 years as probably the most influential person in my practice, just in the way that I think about practicing and doing things. Not even just what I do, it's how. And that has been a huge, huge, huge impact. So, absolutely true statement. All right. From the Cauldron Witch. Which from the Cauldron Witch?
From the Cauldron Witch Tarot.
From the Cauldron Witch.
Yes.
You are getting from me a lot of swords.
Yeah.
Today, but 9 of Swords. This is actually in a little bit better situation than if you're in the 10 of Swords, so that's kind of a good thing. This is the thing that is always a little. What is that on your? Oh, it's water. Something. Juice probably from your vape. One of the things with the 9 of Swords, this looks like a much. It looks very sad, but if you compare it to the 10 of Swords, it's that stage right before when you were realizing that there are certain people in your life that don't need to be there. Now, this isn't a new realization for you because you've always been good at identifying and cutting that slice and saying, look, if you don't need somebody and they're not beneficial, and I don't mean beneficial as in like they give you benefit. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but something along the lines of if people are detrimental in your life, you have no problem cutting them out and you shouldn't. And you recognize that and that is good. But this is saying that there is still somebody in there that's in your circle of people that you know or that you are physically and often with, maybe even could be a client. There is somebody that is toxic to you. There is somebody that is kind of causing an issue in the backdrop and you need to cut them out. This may mean taking them not as a client or perhaps referring them to somebody else first to get some mental issues corrected or worked on before they come back for your services. Because there's something in there that's kind of like holding you out and you're not cutting them out like you normally would. You're giving them more chances than you normally would, and it's going to progress to the 10 of Swords if you don't do what you normally do smartly and go ahead and say, look, you're going to need to take a month off and you're going to need to go see your doctor and going to get your meds changed. Then you can come back and see me and we'll work on this because no, we're not going to, do this one thing that's just not going to be beneficial to that person. So I would just pay attention. There's somebody in your circle or somebody in your, and it's not close either. This is not like a best friend or somebody that you're really close with. This is kind of an acquaintance or somebody that's in your circle somewhere that's just giving you a little bit of problem and you're giving them too many chances. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I drew the lucky star.
Okay. We were just talking about lucky.
We were just talking about lucky. And what this says to me is that this week probably, could be in the next couple weeks, you're going to come across somebody that's just going to irritate you or that's going to rub you the wrong way. And my message and read on this is to, just like ourselves, we never know what other people are dealing with or going through. You might need to be the lucky break or the chance to listen to them that they need.
Yeah.
So when you
so maybe my card hasn't happened just yet.
maybe not. So when you come across this person, they're gonna irritate the shit out of you or rub you the wrong way. Just remember that we all need a break sometimes, and we don't know what other people are going through. And by being a listening ear and showing a little bit of kindness in that manner, you might be the lucky star that they need.
Yeah.
To get through whatever it is they're going through. It could be a client. I get that it's a client.
That's what I was thinking too. Sometimes when you give a cut, though, like on my card that I pulled, sometimes when you give that cut, it gives them the impetus, and that is the lucky star for them to make a change.
I feel like this is client or work related.
That kept coming up for me. That's why I said it so much. But yeah.
Cool. Not a bad card at all.
Probably would, Melvin. I think that's a very interesting point. That is just hilarious. Oh, that's not what I want.
Yeah, it could. I mean, well, yeah, for the meanings, yeah.
Yeah, that is hilarious, though.
I really like these cards. Have been pretty good.
Uh-huh. Better than I thought.
Right, and I love this page. This is one of my favorite parts of the service, actually. And we just want to shout out to all of our, I call them friends, but you are, whether we met or not, you are awesome creators, witches and wonderfuls. Addie Estate on Twitch and Instagram, Mr. Malice on YouTube, and Addie Estate on Facebook and Twitter. From the Cauldron Witch and at From the Cauldron Witch Tarot on Instagram. Are you going live today, Steph? We've kind of been out of the loop for a couple of weeks. Are you going live today? That is Steph, as everybody knows. So From the Cauldron Witch and From the Cauldron Witch Tarot on Instagram. Paranormal Witch, has a YouTube, and also Lady Rose 819 on Instagram. And I will just tell you, Addie Estate, I usually say this, I've left this part of it out, sorry guys, does stream games, right, on Twitch, and also is the host of the Malice Experience, on which Mystic here is on Saturday nights.
Apparently the resident bottom, which gets on my nerves. But
oh yeah, you're the resident bottom. From the Cauldron Witch, guys, I know most of you have, but if you haven't, if you've been under a rock somewhere, go check out From the Cauldron Witch Tarot on Instagram. There is, I haven't seen any better readings in a long time. They're spot on. She's awesome, 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 awesome. Unexplained, excuse me, COVID, Paranormal Witch on YouTube, and Lady Rose 819 on Instagram.
How many times do you want to go backwards? Are you doing that on purpose?
Yes, I'm doing it on purpose because I forgot to put the tagline of what they do, and I was just saying their names.
Lord have mercy.
Lady Rose 819 is Paranormal Witch. Lady Rose 819 on Instagram. She puts out an awesome blog weekly. Please check it out and read it.
Finn is dreaming and he's making little burps and little noises. It's really cute.
Unexplained Possibilities on YouTube. You all know who Melvin is. And Unexplained Possibilities on Instagram. He's got some awesome chats, book reviews, tarot, pendulum work.
The tarot, late night tarot and chats, when he always says something along the lines of, I don't know, just like random chats and stuff, those always turn out to be very, very fun. Like, I am always mad that I missed them live.
I've got
timing-wise, it's hard.
Awesome, awesome, awesome videos, reviews, tarot, and pendulum work. Ziggy Dreadful on Twitch plays games. She is a lot of fun. Hi, Ziggy, if you're still on here. Maeve, though, on Twitch. Maeve also plays games.
Yep.
And we are Two Pondering Pagans on YouTube and Facebook. Two Pondering Pagans on Twitter. Rook Tempest is me on YouTube. I ain't got no videos up. I'm working on that for my own. And Rook_Tempest on Instagram. Come check me out. Mystic Salann is Mystic's Twitch. And Salann Tallman.
Nope.
Tallwin. I thought it was not Tallwin. Where's the
It
na?
is.
Okay. Salann Tallwin on YouTube.
It's just I don't have that in the name of the YouTube because it's messy.
You guys are awesome and amazing.
Quick. Also, we I don't have any videos on my personal page on YouTube. I just put them all on the Two Pondering Pagans. So that's usually me posting on there and putting things on. That's where we put all of our videos and uploads on Twitch. I do stream games like every random, like God knows when. Very rarely, but randomly. And then I forget that there's chat. So, yeah. So we'll do that. Live today, 11:30 California time. Would be 2:30 our time or 3:30?
It would be 2:30 our time. We will play. We will be there.
You sure?
I always feel bad to ask for a reading on yours, not because I don't want one, because I'm letting everybody go. But please check out, and she will be live on Tuesday with a lot of brew and tea. What time Tuesday? Maybe I missed it. But guys, go there today if you can. And check Steph out. She'll be 11:30 California time, and which is 2:30 Eastern time.
Yep.
All right. Oh, we're back on. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so
amazing.
much. We're glad to be back and be able to do this. If you have anything that you want to see on here, anything, any ideas, thoughts, stuff you might want us to cover, even if we don't understand or know, we'll try to find somebody who does, or we'll look it up and read on it.
We'll bring you on to go over it.
Yeah, we'll bring you on if you want. So just keep that in mind. We are open. This is for everybody, not just for us. We want to give you what you need and help you with your whatever it is you're endeavoring on. So it is open season. Thanks for joining, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.